7. Transportation in animals and plants. You have learned earlier that all organisms need food, water, and oxygen for survival. They need to transport all these to various parts of their body. Further, animals need to transport wastes to parts from where they can be removed. Have you wondered how all this is achieved? Look at figure 7.1. Do you see the heart and the blood vessels? They function to transport substances and together form the circulatory system. In this chapter, you shall learn about transport of substances in animals and plants. 7.1 Circulatory System. Blood. What happens when you get a cut on your body? Blood flows out. But what is blood? Blood is the fluid which flows in blood vessels. It transports substances like digested food from the small intestine to the other parts of the body. It carries oxygen from the lungs to the cells of the body. It also transports waste for removal from the body. How does the blood carry various substances? Blood is composed of a fluid called plasma, in which different types of cells are suspended. One type of cells are the red blood cells, RBC, which contain a red pigment called hemoglobin. Hemoglobin binds with oxygen and transports it to all the parts of the body, and ultimately to all the cells. It will be difficult to provide oxygen efficiently to all the cells of the body without hemoglobin. The presence of hemoglobin makes blood appear red. The blood also has white blood cells, WBC, which fight against germs that may enter our body. Bujo fell down while playing a game, and his knee got injured. Blood was coming out from the cut. After some time, he noticed that bleeding had stopped, and a dark red clot had plugged the cut. Bujo was puzzled about this. The clot is formed because of the presence of another type of cells in the blood called platelets. Blood vessels. There are different types of blood vessels in the body. You know that during inhalation, a fresh supply of oxygen fills the lungs. Oxygen has to be transported to the rest of the body. Also, the blood picks up the waste materials, including carbon dioxide, from the cells. This blood has to go back to the heart for transport to the lungs for removal of carbon dioxide, as you have learnt in Chapter 6. So, two types of blood vessels, arteries and veins, are present in the body. Arteries carry oxygen-rich blood from the heart to all parts of the body. Since the blood flow is rapid and at a high pressure, the arteries have thick, elastic walls. Let us perform an activity to study the flow of blood through arteries. Activity 7.1. Place the middle and index finger of your right hand on the inner side of your left wrist. Figure 7.2. Can you feel some throbbing movements? Why do you think there is throbbing? This throbbing is called the pulse, and it is due to the blood flowing in the arteries. Count the number of pulse beats in 1 minute. How many pulse beats could you count? The number of beats per minute is called the pulse rate. A resting person usually has a pulse rate between 72 and 80 beats per minute. Find other places in your body where you can feel the pulse. Record your own pulse beats per minute and those of your classmates. Insert the values you obtained in Table 7.1 and compare them. Veins are the vessels which carry carbon dioxide-rich blood from all parts of the body back to the heart. The veins have thin walls. There are valves present in veins which allow blood to flow only towards the heart. Blood donation. Hundreds of people die due to unavailability of blood. Voluntary blood donation is harmless and painless and can save precious lives. Blood can be donated at hospitals and other places authorized by the government. Donated blood are stored with special care in blood banks. Refer to Figure 7.3. Do you see the arteries divide into smaller vessels? On reaching the tissues, they divide further into extremely thin tubes called capillaries. The capillaries join to form veins, which empty into the heart. Heart. The heart is an organ which beats continuously to act as a pump for the transport of blood, which carries other blood substances with it. Imagine a pump working for years without stopping. Absolutely impossible. Yet our heart works like a pump non-stop. Let us now learn about the heart. The heart is located in the chest cavity with its lower tip slightly tilted towards the left, Figure 7.1. Hold your fingers inwards on your palm. That makes your fist. Your heart is roughly the size of your fist. What will happen if the blood rich in oxygen and the blood rich in carbon dioxide mix with each other? To avoid this from happening, the heart has 4 chambers. The 2 upper chambers are called the atria, singular atrium, and the 2 lower chambers are called the ventricles, Figure 7.4. The partition between the chambers helps to avoid mixing up of blood rich in oxygen with heart, the blood rich in carbon dioxide. To understand the functioning of the Parn's circulatory system, start from the right side of the heart in Figure 7.3 and follow the arrows. These arrows show the Parned direction of the blood flow from the heart to the lungs and back to the heart from where it is pumped to the rest of the Parnt. Heartbeat. The walls of the chambers of the heart are made up of muscles. These muscles contract and relax rhythmically. This rhythmic contraction, followed by its heart relaxation, constitute a heartbeat. Remember that heartbeats continue every moment of our life. If you place your hand on the left side of your chest, you can feel your heartbeat. The Dr. Parnt feels your heartbeats with the help of Parnt, an instrument called a stethoscope. A doctor uses the stethoscope as a device to amplify the sound of the heart. It consists of a chest piece that carries a sensitive diaphragm, 2 earpieces, and a tube joining the parts. Doctors can get clues about the condition of your Parnt heart by listening through a stethoscope. Let us construct a model of a stethoscope with the materials that are available around us. Activity 7.2. Take a small funnel of 6 to 7 centimeters in diameter. Fix a rubber tube, 50 centimeters, tightly on the stem of the funnel. Stretch a rubber sheet or a balloon on the mouth of the funnel and fix it tightly with a rubber band. Put the open end of the tube on one of your ears. Place the mouth of the funnel on your chest near the heart. Now try to listen carefully. Do you hear a regular thumping sound? The sound is that of your heartbeats. How many times did your heart beat in a minute? Count again. After running for 4 to 5 minutes, compare your observations. Record your own pulse rate and heartbeat and that of your friends, while resting and after running, and record in Table 7.2. Do you find any relationship between your heartbeat and pulse rate? Each heartbeat generates one pulse beyond the arteries, and the pulse rate per minute indicates the rate of heartbeat. The rhythmic beating of the various auricle state chambers of the heart maintains a circulation of blood and transport of all substances to the different parts of the arten's body. Bujo wonders if sponges and eye hydra also have blood? Animals such as sponges and hydra do not possess auricle any circulatory system. The water and auricle which they live brings food and oxygen as it enters their bodies. The English physician William Harvey, A.D. 1578 to 1657, discovered the circulation of blood. The current opinion in those days was that blood oscillates in the vessels of the body. For his views, Harvey was ridiculed and was called circulator. He lost most of his patients. However, before he died, Harvey's idea about circulation was generally accepted as a biological fact. The water carries away waste materials and carbon dioxide as it moves out. Thus, these animals do not need a circulatory fluid like the blood. Let us now learn about the removal of waste other than carbon dioxide. 7.2. Excretion in animals. Recall how carbon dioxide is removed as waste from the body through the lungs during exhalation. Also, recall that the undigested food is removed during egestion. Let us now find out how the other waste materials are removed from the body. You may wonder where these unwanted materials come from. When our cells perform their functions, certain waste products are released. These are toxic and hence need to be removed from the body. The process of removal of wastes produced in the cells of the living organisms is called excretion. The parts involved in excretion form the excretory system. Excretory system in humans. The waste which is present in the blood has to be removed from the body. How can this be done? A mechanism to filter the blood is required. This is done by the blood capillaries in the kidneys. When the blood reaches the two kidneys, it contains both useful and harmful substances. The useful substances are absorbed back into the blood. The wastes dissolved in water are removed as urine. From the kidneys, the urine goes into the urinary bladder through tube-like ureters. It is stored in the bladder and is passed out through the urinary opening at the end of a muscular tube called urethra. Figure 7.6. The kidneys, ureters, bladder, and urethra form the excretory system. An adult human being normally passes about 1 to 1.8 liters of urine in 24 hours. The urine consists of 95% water, 2.5% urea, and 2.5% other waste products. We have all experienced that we sweat on a hot summer day. The sweat contains water and salts. Wtching has seen that sometimes in summer, white patches are formed on our clothes, especially in areas like underarms. These marks are left by salts present in the sweat. Does sweat serve any other function? We know that the water kept in an earthen pot, matka, is cooler. This is because the water evaporates from the pores of the pot, which causes cooling. Similarly, when we swafe, it helps to cool our body. 3. Transport of substances in plants. In Chapter 1, you learned that plants take water and mineral nutrients from the soil through the roots and transport it to the leaves. The leaves prepare food for the plant using water and carbon dioxide during photosynthesis. You also learned in Chapter 6 that food is the source of energy and every cell of an organism gets energy by the breakdown of glucose. The cells use this energy to carry out vital activities of life. Therefore, food must be made available to every cell of an organism. Have you ever wondered how water and nutrients absorbed by the root are transported to the leaves? How is the food prepared by the leaves carried to the parts which cannot make food? Transport of water and minerals. Plants absorb water and minerals by the roots. The roots have root hair. The root hair increase the surface area of the root for the absorption of water and mineral nutrients dissolved in water. The root hair is in contact with the water present between the soil particles. Figure 7.7a. Can you guess how water moves from the root to the leaves? What kind of transport system is present in plants? Well, Wtching is right. Plants have pipe-like vessels to transport water and nutrients from the soil. The vessels are made of special cells, forming the vascular tissue. A tissue is a group of cells that perform specialized function in an organism. The vascular tissue for the transport of water and nutrients in the plant is called the xylem. Figure 7.7a. The xylem forms a continuous network of channels that connects roots to the leaves through the stem and branches, and thus transports water to the entire plant. Figure 7.7b. You know that leaves synthesize food. The food has to be transported to all parts of the plant. This is done by the vascular tissue called the phloem. Thus, xylem and phloem transport substances in plants. Activity 7.3. We would require a glass tumbler, water, red ink, a tender herb, e.g. balsam, and a blade for this activity. Pour water to fill 1/3 of the tumbler. Add a few drops of red ink to the water. Cut the base of the stem of the herb and place it in the glass as shown in figure 7.8a. Observe it the next day. Does any part of the herb appear red? If yes, how do you think the color reached there? You can cut the stem across and look for the red color inside the stem. Figure 7.8b and 7.8c. From this activity, we see that water moves up the stem. In other words, stem conducts water. Just like the red ink, minerals dissolved in water also move up the stem, along with water. Water and minerals go to leaves and other plant parts through narrow tubes, xylem, inside the stem. Figure 7.7b. Transpiration. In Class 6, you learnt that plants release a lot of water by the process of transpiration. Plants absorb mineral nutrients and water from the soil. Not all the water absorbed is utilized by the plant. The water evaporates through the stomata, present on the surface of the leaves. By the process of transpiration, the evaporation of water from leaves generates a suction pull, the same that you produce when you suck water through a straw, which can pull water to great heights in the tall trees. Transpiration also cools the plant.
1. Match structures given in column I with functions given in column 2. Fill in the blanks. Number 1. The blood from the heart is transported to all parts of the body by the arteries. Number 2. Hemoglobin is present in red blood cells. Number 3. Arteries and veins are joined by a network of capillaries. Number 4. The rhythmic expansion and contraction of the heart is called heartbeat. Number 5. The main excretory product in human beings is urea. Number 6. Sweat contains water and salts. Number 7. Kidneys eliminate the waste materials in the liquid form called urine. Number 8. Water reaches great heights in the trees because of suction pull caused by transpiration. 3. Choose the correct option. 8. In plants, water is transported through I, xylem, 2. Phloem, 3. Stomata, and 4. Root hair. B. Water absorption through roots can be increased by keeping the plant's eye in the shade, 2. In dim light, 3. Under the fan, 4. Covered with a polythene bag. Four. Why is transport of materials necessary in a plant or in an animal? Explain. Answer. Transport of materials is necessary for the survival. 5. What will happen if there are no platelets in the blood? Answer. If there are no platelets, the blood will not be able to clot and keep on flowing. Huge loss of blood ultimately causes death. 6. What are stomata? Give 2 functions of stomata. Answer. Tiny pores present on the leaf surface are known as stomata. Functions of stomata. A. Aligns in exchange of gases. B. Helps in the transpiration of water. 7. Does transpiration serve any useful function in plants? Explain. Answer. 1. It helps in transport of water and minerals to leaves. 2. It helps in lowering temperature of plants. 3. It helps in getting rid of the excess water. 8. What are the components of blood? Answer. There are 4 components of blood: red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets, and plasma. 9. Why is blood needed by all the parts of a body? Answer. We need blood for the following reasons. 1. Incarcerating transport of oxygen to all parts of our body. 2. To expel out carbon dioxide from our body. 3. Import is required to fight out infections and disease. Lytics. 10. What makes the blood look red? Answer. Hemoglobin, a red pigment present in the blood, makes it look red. 11. Describe the function of the heart. Answer. The right auricle and ventricle receive blood with carbon dioxide from all parts of the body. The collected blood is then pumped to the lungs for the purification. In lungs, the exchange of gases takes place, and purified blood is sent back to left auricle. It pumps it to the left ventricle, which in turn pumps off the purified blood to all parts of body through arteries. 12. Why is it necessary to excrete waste products? Answer. It is necessary because certain waste products are toxic and hence